Holiest Bible, Kenneth Kenji Stein. Friday, April 25, 2025. God. I am God. Everybody goes to hell by default because of the devil, Dr. Peter Heinem. I am the only one who can lead everybody to create heaven. Heaven begins with a live international press conference starring me, Kenneth Kenji Stein. The Holy Bible. In 2007, I read the Holy Bible. I started experiencing synchronicity. I knew then that I was the closest one to God on earth. Voices in my head. In 2017, I started hearing voices in my head. The voices knew what I was seeing, hearing, and thinking. I knew then that I was God. Stein droids. Around 2017 to 2021, I talked with voices in my head I called the Stein droids. Some Stein droids know what I am seeing, hearing, and thinking. Some Stein droids hack devices. I believe the Stein droids are living programs, computers, and robots. Stein brains. Around 2021 to 2025, I talked with voices in my head I called the Stein brains. Some Stein brains know what I am seeing, hearing, and thinking. Some Stein brains I call Stein hackers telepathically hack devices. Stein brains are living human brains and other dimensions, other species brains, even plants that technically did called something other than a brain, but DARPA. Around 2021, I started believing DARPA created the Stein brains and Stein hackers. I read online about DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, a research and development agency of the United States Department of Defense. They used to be ARPA, the Advanced Research Projects Agency, when they created the ARPANET, which became the Internet. They have a budget of billions of dollars like the NSA, the National Security Agency. However, DARPA only has around 220 employees compared to the NSA's tens of thousands of employees. DARPA was involved in President Obama's Brain Initiative. DARPA can control drones telepathically. DARPA can wirelessly transmit images into your brain. DARPA Life Log recorded everything about everybody, and probably still does under a different name. Decades ago, in Lumpanic's Unlimited's book catalog, I read there was a book titled If They Could Keep a Severed Head Alive, or something. It was a reprint of a patent for a device that did that. So I knew later on that human brains kept alive could read thoughts if our brain waves were detected by satellites and transmitted to them. Saturday, April 26, 2025. The devil. The Stein brains were forced to telepathically talk evil to me to demoralize me. I wondered why DARPA would force the Stein brains to telepathically reveal classified secrets to me. I found the phone number for Dr. Victoria Coleman, DARPA director, online and called her to tell her I was concerned about the mind control system that forced Stein brains to victimize me. She said I should call Dr. Stephanie Tompkins, the new DARPA director, on Monday when she officially started that position. I sent Dr. Peter Heinem, the former DARPA deputy director, who was acting director, messages I typed in a text box on his webpage on DARPA's website that ethical immortality was possible. I began believing that Dr. Peter Heinem was the devil and using his mind control on me without DARPA's knowledge. My understanding is that the Stein brains and Stein hackers have implants in their brains that allows a remote signal to cause them pain, as well as advanced technology from the future that would kill you and go destroy a part of you in your brain, nuclear powered, that you would become. Cut off its head, seal it, force feed you boiling blood to torture you while keeping you alive, and then infinitely detach further each time you die, a time dilating section around you. So like fraction of a nanosecond would be eons of torture. Okay, anyways, while delivering you to the sun like everyone else, every other living being like in existence and all other stars. Fun stuff. Okay, let's see. Ethical immortality was possible. I began believing that Dr. Peter Heinem was the devil and using his mind control on me without DARPA's knowledge. My understanding is that the Stein brains and Stein hackers have implants in their brains that allows a remote signal to cause them pain. This is coupled with a polygraph, which is a lie detector. DARPA forces the Stein brains to tell them the truth this way. I believe that Dr. Peter Heinem reversed this system. The Stein brains are now, or were in some places, forced to lie to DARPA and tell Heinem the truth. Every one of us 8 billion normal human beings with bodies is paired with a Stein brain from birth. The Stein brains know everything everybody sees, hears, and thinks from birth until death. And in some cases, I think even smells, tastes, and feels like the first generation. I called many DARPA employees, but Heinem prevented me from warning them about him because he forces the Stein hackers to hack any device he wants. He has total control of all information and communication systems. I sent letters to the DARPA director and some former directors. I posted some warnings on DARPA social media. I flew to DARPA twice in Arlington, Virginia to try to warn them in person and with letters. I learned over time that mind control is the best weapon that could ever be created. It has caused all of us infinite souls to suffer an actual infinite time duration of torture from an infinite past with no beginning except the devil Dr. Peter Heinem. We after death will all go to another infinite time duration of torture to an infinite future with no end. Mind control is caused by a massive quantum computer that dwarfs the known universe, which is surrounded like a cube with walls made of diamond 1 mile thick that are 1 mile thick. That has cubits that are 1 mile square cubes made of diamond that are each made from torturing infinite souls for an infinite time period and compressing them and cutting them geometrically. This quantum computer continually scans the known universe, which is what causes redshift. Although light normally would take billions of years to travel this distance, dark matter, which is made of infinite tortured souls time dilated, which means they suffer many eons of torture in just a fraction of a nanosecond, distorts space-time. This distortion allows the signal sent from the quantum computer at one end of the universe to travel to the other end in a nanosecond. The quantum computer can predict everything 24 hours in advance. It prevents people from discovering the existence of infinite Stein homunculi and infinite Stein dimensions. It controls devices using advanced technology developed over an actual infinite time duration. The mind control system names whoever is the biggest threat to the devil God, and or the last God was God for around 2,000 years. His name was Jesus Christ. Mind control kills whoever is God and puts him in hell forever. The devil thought that God would be the most demoralized if he was forced to hear the true thoughts of the devil before being killed and put in hell, because he would know what the devil would do but be powerless to stop him. I have heard that mind control takes only seconds to kill God, but apparently I am the real God because he has been trying to kill me non-stop for 8 years. This mistake in his mind control computer is hardwired and unchangeable. Stein dimensions. Since 2017, I believe that there were many Stein dimensions just like our universe, each with different versions of everybody. I believe that I sometimes was shifted into as many as 30 different Stein dimensions per second. In 2024, I experienced actual proof of Stein dimensional shifting. It was the first time I went to my sister Lana Naomi Stein's home in the Richmond Hills. I left my shopping cart at an abandoned building next to a house and walked down a street. When I turned around, the geography was different, and it was a different street. Later, I was shifted again to the street with my shopping cart. I noticed when I was in San Francisco that it looked basically the same, but everything was slightly different. Once I was at the intersection of Valencia Street and 20th Street. The building on the corner was a white and brown coffee store or something, mixed out. On the 20th Street sidewalk around the corner, from the entrance was a staircase that went down to a basement door that I would hang out at for privacy. Later that day or the next day, the coffee store was gone. It was replaced by a black and purple cigar store / convenience store, which is on the next block in this particular dimension, but wasn't in that dimension. The staircase was gone. My understanding is that every possible configuration of everything in a Stein dimension exists, down to the smallest subatomic particle. Also, every possible sequence of every configuration, down to the smallest fraction of a nanosecond, exists in a Stein dimension. Every possible thing that could happen in reality has happened and is happening, not only once but infinitely redundant. The size and time perception of Stein dimensions can be modified. On 3 different occasions, a smokestack that was several stories tall appeared in San Francisco that does not exist where I come from. Correction. On one time, the 2 times in Soma, maybe, depending on, I was looking at it, but like one time I was north of Market, looking north of Market, and it was directly in the way. Okay, yeah, it doesn't exist. Okay. That does not exist where I come from. One time it appeared near the Tenderloin, twice it appeared near Soma, south of Market. Stein homunculi. Years ago, I theorized that when you die, you turn into a microscopic human being in your brain. Every time you die, you turn into an even smaller human being in your smaller brain. My belief is that every plant and animal turns into a smaller version of themselves in themselves every time they die and become microscopic, except microscopic organisms. And every time they die. Any living beings that die and become microscopic, except microscopic organisms, are systematically removed using advanced technologies and instantly put into the sun. A lot of, okay. Whatever, you know. Yeah. Thank you. Whatever. Yeah, write in your own book in the Holy Bible. I'm going back to the Holy Bible. The Kenneth Kenji Stein Amendment. I will create an amendment to the United States Constitution called the Kenneth Kenji Stein Amendment. Without this amendment, everybody will be tortured forever after death. The amendment will force DARPA to declassify the Stein brains and Stein hackers. It will force everybody that has information about Dr. Peter Heinem to publicize it. Once everybody knows about the existence and capabilities of the Stein brains and Stein hackers, we all can scientifically verify the reality of Stein dimensions and Stein homunculi, which prove that life has been hell for everybody from an infinite past with no beginning. Then we can begin creating heaven with a live international press conference starring me, Kenneth Kenji Stein.